Good evening, and welcome to my How Healthy Are You weekly podcast. My name is Dr. Thomas Brewer. I'm a PhD chemist. And for this week, it looks like we have 4 topics. So I'm going to get started with the first one, which is something I have been meaning to talk about for months now, and that is to explain about supplement fillers and how you can analyze the supplements that you're buying so you can make an informed decision whether you want to keep spending money with a particular manufacturer or perhaps find someone that has your interest in or at heart. And so supplement fillers are rampant in the nutritional supplement industry. The reason they're used is just one reason. It's for profit. Instead of filling the capsule or tablet with active ingredients, if an ingredient is added that costs 1/1000th or 1/10,000th the cost per unit weight, well, then the profit just goes up. It's like a drink company selling you water instead of juice, and that's what they do with apple juice and orange juice. They concentrate it, ship it across the country, and then re-add water. But they always add more water than they took out when they dehydrated the juice or concentrated it. A similar scenario occurs with the nutraceutical industry or nutritional supplement industry. They have this huge desire to increase profits, and they do that at your expense, and so they give you fillers. And unfortunately for them, and fortunately for you, they have to place on the label what they added. So all we have to do as consumers is read the ingredient list. And that's when you can make a decision whether to put something back on the shelf, ask for a refund if you haven't opened the product, or just stop wasting your money. So the common ones are silica and titania. So silica is silicon dioxide, and titania is titanium dioxide. Now, sometimes people will put in alumina, which is aluminum oxide, but these are all harmless additives, but they're extremely cheap and a complete waste of money. So silica is better known as sand, kind of like sodium chloride is better known as table salt. So silica is just a fancy way to say sand, and that is an extremely common filler because it sounds good and it's extremely cheap, and this way, by weight, a supplement manufacturer can give you a nice heavy capsule, and a certain percentage of it is silica. It could be 10%, it could be 20%, it could be 30, 40, 50%. And whatever that percentage is, they just increase their profits by that amount. Other common additives or fillers are sugar alcohols. So this would be products that end in OL, like xylitol, sorbitol. These are all sugar alcohols. Now, these are normally added to something that you can taste, perhaps something that you chew, like a chewable of some sort. They're usually not added to capsules or tablets that you swallow, but sometimes they are. But these sugar alcohols cost more than silica, so I don't know why they would add that unless it's something that is flavored and they just want to make it taste sweeter. But again, complete waste. Sometimes stevia is used as an additive, again, as a sweetener, and stevia was mentioned in last week's newsletter, so I'll just refer you back to that. Another common one is maltodextrin, another sweetener. Cellulose is another common one, which is a fiber filler. So these are the common additives. If you see these on a nutritional supplement, they have no place there. You're just paying supplement prices for a filler. Not a smart thing to do. Definitely not good value. The other thing I mentioned to anyone, this is nutritional supplementation 101. You don't want any nutritional supplements that are a hard-pressed tablet. A hard-pressed tablet must be made at very high temperature, which destroys most of the active ingredient that goes into the tablet. And second, there's no way to make that tablet without using fillers and binders, something that binds or holds together the active ingredient to make a tablet. So there's just a lot of inherent waste in a hard-pressed tablet. And again, the high temperature needed to make that tablet destroys most of the raw materials, most of the vitamins or enzymes that go into that supplement. So it's a very profitable way to make a nutritional supplement, but it's very bad for the consumer. So it's the Latin term caveat emptor, let the buyer beware. That's what's going on here with hard-pressed tablets. And then the typical capsule products, the unscrupulous suppliers will typically add silica, titania, cellulose. Just don't waste your money on products that have these fillers in them. And it's a real shame, but now the secret's out. And now you can go to your shelf where you keep all your products and start reading the ingredients, and you may be surprised. You're going to see a lot of ingredients that you don't recognize. If you'd like, send me a text or an email if there's some ingredients there you're not sure of, and I can either go over it on next week's call or just answer you directly if it's something real quick. So that was the first part on supplement fillers, and that question was asked by Annie, but it really made me put it in this week's podcast because I've been meaning to do it for such a long time. The next couple of questions are from Natalie. The first one was on Sporebiotics. And Sporebiotics are very similar to probiotics. You can think of them as very active and effective probiotics. They actually produce a spore, so probiotics are bacteria, but these are bacteria that have or can form a spore right in the middle. They're very good. I have nothing bad to say about Sporebiotics. Think of them as just a unique probiotic. It's just another alternative. As most of you know, I recommend people take perhaps 2 different kinds of probiotics in their repertoire, which no manufacturer would ever tell you to take another person's product, but I'm telling you, it's good to have some variety when you take probiotics. So Sporebiotics are good, but I would not just take them. The Enriching Gifts probiotics are also very good, and I'm saying to mix it up with other probiotics or sporebiotics where you see a different probiotic strain, a different list of strains, so a different group of probiotics, and variety is the key there. Another question was on iron and iron supplements. So I am not big on any iron supplements. I believe you should get your iron from food, which is really similar to calcium. You want to try to get your calcium from food unless you just can't. And the same is with iron. You would get iron. Two main sources are going to be spinach with a little bit of acidity. In this case, that would be fresh squeezed lemon, lime, fresh squeezed orange, fresh squeezed grapefruit, fresh squeezed citrus on the spinach will help unlock the iron. So this is a good use of citrus juice. You just need a small amount. I am not a big fan of salad dressings, store-bought salad dressings. And just like the filler part from a few minutes ago, read the ingredients in that salad dressing bottle. You'll probably put it back on the shelf. It'll have sweeteners and guar gum and high fructose corn syrup. And there's just no need for these foods in a salad dressing. So just use your own. You'll save a lot of money too. Just squeeze a little bit of any citrus and you'll unlock the iron, especially that's in the spinach. The other way to get iron, actually one of the best ways to get iron for those of you that eat meat, is to eat a little more grass-fed or better red meat. So you want decent or high-quality red meat. Most people stopped eating red meat when they got scared about all the bad publicity for red meat, and then they switched to chicken. Well, if you ever see how chickens are raised, they're raised like an assembly line to make a car. They are, the system is far worse with chicken than cows and beef. So our whole meat industry is an embarrassment, and it's not really designed for nutrition. It's designed for profit, like everything. And when people switch from beef to chicken, they thought they were doing themselves a favor. Well, they're not. The chicken, if it's not organic, and you have to pay a lot of money to get a real chicken that was out in a field. You're eating a real low quality meat, and I'm not saying beef is good either, but the people that switch to chicken, pretty much all of them are showing anemia or low iron, and that's why their energy is down. So go back to a little higher quality beef. Higher quality beef still costs less than what's necessary in chicken. You'd have to get the best of the best, the organic chicken. So you'll see that even costs more than grass-fed beef. So a little more red meat will fix iron deficiency. Some people only eat red meat once or twice a week. If you have an iron deficiency, just kick it up by one time per week, or maybe two more times per week, and that should do it. And if you don't eat meat, spinach with citrus drizzled as a dressing will work just fine. The final topic is about COVID-19 people losing or victims actually, losing their smell and taste. And at first I wasn't aware of these symptoms. And then I've been noticing more and more in the news, people are complaining about losing their sense of smell and taste. Well, this actually makes sense because the virus attacks the lungs and the nasal cavity, and that's where a lot of our receptors are. And smell and taste are related. I mean, that's the whole point. When people were kids, they'd hold their nose if they were eating a food that they didn't like. So smell and taste are linked, and so with COVID-19, the attack in the lungs and nasal cavity, that all makes sense. So once the virus is destroyed, not killed, but destroyed, then there will be residual cellular damage. My best advice is to take a cellular regenerator. The best one I know is the Aloe Ace Max. And the time frame, you'll probably only need one bottle, maybe 2 bottles should do it, and allow you to regrow the damaged cells so much faster and efficiently. It's definitely well worth the cost for the Aloe Ace Max. So that's my answer to the smell and taste issue and the loss of smell and taste with COVID-19 victims. So that's all I have for this week's podcast. I'll be doing another podcast next Monday. Please call, text, or email your questions in if you have any. And thanks for listening.